Greetings and salutations, fellow humans. We are back today. And in this creation energy, I was thinking and reflecting on just how I have my systems in place and some of the things that are part of my routine. And I have a couple practices that I use. Taoism is one of the main things that I like to research into. I always call it Taoism because of that T, but it's pronounced Daoism. So I love the concept of expanding the knowledge by detaching and becoming a part of something. So Taoism is a really big part of my life when it comes to just practicing. So I have a couple books that I utilize in my practice during the day to read and just get my mind set in the right place for myself. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, well, it's not the only way. And there are other systems too that are out there that are similar. So it made me start thinking about it. And then I started doing a little research and I found out about the thing called the three teachings, right? So that's Daoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism. These are the three major systems that have shaped how people understand life, purpose, and balance. There are other systems in the world, but these are usually grouped together. They're often seen as separate systems, but they actually complete each other, which is wonderful. So I'm like, oh, if I'm really into Taoism, I actually do know a lot about Confucianism, but I've never practiced Buddhism. So I'm like, maybe I should look into some of the teachings of Buddhism and see if there's something that I like. So I'm going to talk to you kind of about what I know. If you guys have any knowledge or information on any of the three, let me know in the comments so I can expand my horizons. And let's just get into it on this Sunday creation energy. Maybe we'll both create new systems for ourselves in order to expand our life in this beautiful journey. So let's start with Taoism. So the core idea of the Tao is the way, the natural flow of the universe. The key principle is Wu Wei, effortless action, not forcing, not resisting. And the focus that you have when you are practicing Taoism is alignment with nature, balance, so the yin and the yang, and intuition over control. Taoism teaches you how to flow with life. So it's something that I personally hold like very dear to me because I connect very greatly with nature. And I find that the more I surrender and allow my life to flow, not give up on taking action towards the things that I want, but allowing that action to be very natural in how it comes about and aligned to me and very balanced, okay? I let it be cyclical. I allow myself to go through cycles and I don't hold myself in some type of guilt for not being able to show up the exact same way as long as I'm following my own natural cycle. So the next system is Confucianism. And I have practiced a lot of themes of Confucianism. It was founded by Confucius, hence the name Confucianism. And it is a social harmony through ethical behavior. The key concept is called Li. It is a ritual or proper conduct, a social order to things. Ren is also about humanness and compassion. So Li, ritual, proper conduct, and social order, and Ren, humanness and compassion. So the focus of Confucianism is all about family structure, responsibility, discipline, and relationships. So you can see it's actually quite different from Taoism, but it's still looking to build some type of harmony, but it's a very much more structured and a more ritualistic system. Confucianism teaches you how to live with others. So if Taoism is all about how you learn to flow with life, Confucianism is how you learn to have your life that is flowing and start living and connecting that life with others. It's a beautiful thing. So it's almost like, in my mind, the cycle goes Taoism and then Confucianism, and you're fully incorporating that cycle, and then you start to do them all at the same time. But it's the flow, it's the inner world in the self, and then how you relate that self to others around you. So the last of the three teachings is Buddhism. So Buddhism was founded by Buddha. It is a understanding of ending suffering. So its key teaching is the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The key concept of Buddhism is all about nirvana, liberation from suffering. And doesn't that sound wonderful? So Buddhism is almost like, once you've gotten to a place, how you learn to let go. Because like a release from suffering means surrender. So the focus of Buddhism is on awareness, detachment, and mindfulness. And it's almost coming full circle, right? So with Taoism, you start off with learning how to flow with your life effortlessly, right? Not forcing it, not resisting things, just allowing the balance and the cycle and your intuition to align you to your truth. And then Confucianism comes in to help you learn how to create rituals and conduct yourself properly in social order with those around you in order to have discipline in your relationships. And then when you reach the stage of Buddhism, in this cycle, and this is the cycle that I have, you do not have to practice all of these at the same time. I just find it's wonderful, and I'm going to start looking into Buddhism, because the teachings of Buddhism, when I was learning about it, I already do a lot of these things, but I never put any of the actual practices of Buddhism specifically in my life, which it's cool. It's like you might already be doing these things without practicing these teachings, and maybe there are some cool lessons, mantras, meditations that you can find by looking into these that can help to expand your own teachings without even having to change what you were doing, right? So yeah, Buddhism brings it back whole of teaching you how to let go of things, which can help you with Taoism, because it's going to help you learn how to be less resistant and go with the flow. And it's going to help you in Confucianism because it's going to allow you to not hold so much of an attachment to the social order of things, maybe allowing you to follow it without having to attach yourself with it, right? And knowing what is right for you in the social order. In my opinion, Buddhism and Confucianism are the most not as similar as the other. Like Taoism, I think, can fit into the other two pretty well. But Confucianism is just it's a way of existing with others. So it's almost like the little bit of the outlier, right, in all the teachings. But it gives you a different standpoint on how to interact with the world, because it's more about how you place yourself inside of relationships. So Taoism is flow, Confucianism is structure, and Buddhism is release. Taoism is very much about internal alignment, Confucianism is about external order, and Buddhism is about inner liberation. Flow, structure, release. It's beautiful. Flow, structure, release. All of these have similarities that emphasize balance, they emphasize awareness, and they emphasize self-cultivation. And all recognize suffering exists, okay? They're not saying it doesn't. Growth is possible. They all say it is. And harmony is the goal, okay? Different paths, same human questions. So the differences now in the three is Taoism is all about natural, intuitive, non-forcing, where Confucianism, like we talked about before, is all about structured, role-based discipline. And Buddhism is all about inward, reflective, transcendent, right? One flows, Taoism, one organizes, Confucianism, and the other one releases, Buddhism. So how can you use these three if you'd like to? When life feels forced, right? Say you end up in situations that maybe feel out of your control, like it's just being pushed upon you, you can look to Taoism in order to learn how to not force, apply force to a situation that already is beating you with force, and learning how when you surrender a little bit of that force and you go with the flow, you actually get more momentum. So something's beating on you, instead of beating back where you guys just do this, if you do this, you're able to move, right? If something comes at you and you're flowing and you're not as forceful back, you can flow around and you almost use the momentum of something outside of you in order to surrender yourself and move yourself within that. And then when life feels very chaotic, you can use Confucianisms, because chaos a lot of times has no order, right? So if you add a little bit of order, discipline, and structure into chaos, you can find that you actually have stable ground to stand on when it comes to your life, and it can benefit you in that way. And then when life just feels heavy, it feels too heavy to even exist, like the sky is falling, everything's going wrong, you might want to look to Buddhism practices, to where instead of focusing so much of what's going on externally outside of you, turn inward to your inner world, reflect on what is going on in your experiences and how you feel about it, and then you can decide what you want to do about it and what you enjoy that you're learning from it about yourself. And then you can transcend that, and then every curse or problem becomes a gift and a actual win in your life. And it's a beautiful system to follow when you're looking at it to transcend. I just saw 11:11 on the clock. Make a wish. Perfect. So you don't have to choose one. You can move between them all. I didn't realize I was moving between all three until today. I knew I was moving between Daoism and Confucianism, but I practiced Buddhism too without even knowing, right? Everything, all of these words and these teachings are just labels that are placed on someone's interpretation of a way of existing, right? So just because you didn't name it, but you're doing it, doesn't mean you weren't already doing the same thing, right? You just maybe weren't connected to this teaching that is labeled on. As human, we like to bring meaning and understanding to things, so we put labels on them. We like to put them in groups and things like that. But you could be doing all this without any of that. But now that you know, maybe some of the things you're doing and these names and these teaching systems are appealing to you. So maybe you start to look into it more and expand that, right? Even outside of just falling into what it says, but maybe you expand it to where you now even grow your practice even more. So these aren't competing systems. They're complementary perspectives, which is really cool. Sometimes you need flow, sometimes you need structure, and sometimes you just need to let it go. That's the full cycle of living. So if you need any of those things today, maybe look into one of the three teachings and see if they have something that can help you reduce any type of oppression, any type of chaos or heavy feelings in your life, and help balance you back into your natural alignment of bliss and of joy. This was I just saw 13:13 on the clock. We're building. This is foundational structure work, right? I love 13:13. Not even just because I was born on the 13th, but I love it. It's a 44, so that's divine protection in my mind, from the angels and structure, and on the right path. So you're on the right path of your life. I just realized I only put one ring on today, and it was my happy Buddha, which, how funny. So even, actually, that's really funny. I said I don't practice Buddhism, but I've had this happy Buddha ring for like a year plus. My sister actually gave it to. We have matching ones. And I knew it was a happy Buddha. And it fills me with joy, right? It fills me with a really good feeling. And whenever I get filled with joy, I release any type of pressure or, need to do something else or feel a certain way that's not yummy. So I guess I was practicing Buddhism all along, even in where I was wearing jewelry wise. So yeah, if you need any help on getting into any of these systems, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any personal experience with any of the three teachings, and if you have any tips or guidance to help anyone who's on the journey to incorporate these in their lives. Please put that in the comments so we can talk about it together. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you just like learning and you're curious to see what adventures we go on tomorrow and the days to come. It was wonderful speaking with you and sharing this time, and I love you. До свидания.